Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today I want to do a quick review. I plan to make this a very quick review on Rest Stop Dead Ahead. It's a film I think is pretty decent. It's okay. For being a direct-to-video horror movie, it's not that bad. It does have problems, I'll say that. It does have problems. But I thought overall, it's a pretty decent direct-to-video kind of movie. It's a 4.5 on IMDb. It was made in 2006. This has a sequel to it, which I have not seen. I can't find it anywhere. I can't, I think I found it like once, and that was a DVD shop, but I haven't seen it since. So like I don't find it at like Walmart or anything like that. I can't find it anywhere else. But the sequel is like Rest Stop, Don't Look Back. Yeah. Rest Stop, Don't Look Back, which pretty much actually gets a higher rating than this. This gets a 4.5, which I can kind of expect that. I mean, it's direct-to-video. It's not the best horror movie in the world, but I do think it's got a little bit of good things to it. It's definitely worth watching. It's not total crap. It's pretty decent. It's okay. It's a guilty... Not even that. It's not that bad. It's more of a... just a time waster. I mean, it's not extremely crappy, but I can see why people have problems with it. But to me, it's just an okay kind of movie. It's a time waster. But the sequel gets a 4.7, and this gets a 4.5. The sequel gets a 4.7, and I haven't seen the second one. I can't find it anywhere. But when I do find the second movie and I buy it, I'll watch it and I'll review it. But for right now, I'm just gonna review the first Rest Stop, and it was directed by John Shaban, who has directed 5 things. He's directed X-Files TV series, like one episode of that, Rest Stop, Breaking Bad, and Hell on Wheels, and that's pretty much it. So he hasn't made a lot of movies, but like I said, this movie's kind of decent. I'm gonna keep this review kind of short because, well, I mean, there's really not much to say about the movie. It's kind of, it's just one of those movies that sort of, when I explain it, it sort of explains itself. I mean, it's decent, it's okay, but, if you hate the movie, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, I could kind of see it does have problems, but I think it's just a pretty decent time waster kind of a horror movie. And, it's okay to me. To me, it's alright. Now, like I said, it was directed by John Shaban, and the cast is Jamie Alexander as Nicole, Josh George Medicasino as Jesse Hiltz, and Dina Russo as Tracy. You got Diane Salinger as the mother, the Ranger Curtis Taylor, and you got Deacon played by Jody Lawrence. And then you've got Mikey Post playing Scotty. And there's not really a lot of cast members to it. It's more of, I mean, there is cast members to it, but it's more of a movie with less cast list. I mean, there's not a lot of cast members in the movie because most of the movie takes place at a rest stop. And the problem with the movie is that it is 80 minutes long, but it kind of takes a while for stuff to start happening. It kind of drags. I know it shouldn't because 80 minutes, but it's one of those movies where even though it's short, it still kind of drags a little bit. Also, the acting, besides 2 actors, Jamie Alexander and Joey Lawrence, besides them, Nicole's boyfriend was barely in the movie. The hillbilly was kind of the hillbilly idea was sort of, has been used before, so it was kind of not anything new. I mean, it had a little bit of creepy vibe to it, but it's something that's been used before. So this time it just kind of feels a little bit old. Because you've seen it in Wrong Turn, you've seen it in a bunch of other horror movies with, like, Killer Hillbillies and stuff like that. Heck, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, they parody that. So it's like you've seen it before. And the movie kind of explains itself. I mean, it's about a girl named Nicole and her boyfriend. They decide to drive off because Nicole doesn't agree with how her parents want her to live. She's basically rebelling and stuff like that. She moves out, and then she just pretty much, her and her boyfriend just get in a car and drive away. And on their way to wherever they're going, I forgot where they're going, But on their way there, they stop at a rest stop, and there is this psycho redneck killer who kidnaps her boyfriend, and he videotaped. That's one thing I can say is a little bit different, is he'll videotape the murders, and it's really gruesome, the stuff that he videotaped. Like he cuts the guy's tongue out, and he's cutting his skin off, and he's in there begging, and he just keeps recording it. So it is a gruesome theme. So that's probably the one thing that's probably different about this movie, is that he sort of drives by and drops the tape off to the girl, and she watches her boyfriend in distress. Okay, that's suspenseful, that is gruesome, and that is different. But just the idea of a killer psycho redneck has been done before. It's been done before, and it's not really anything new. Besides the whole videotaping, even the videotaping thing's been done before a little bit. Not necessarily him dropping the videotape off to the girl. He does it a little bit differently, but it's just, you see what I mean? The idea is just sort of kind of the same of other horror movies with like psycho hillbillies and stuff like that. It's been done before. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just been done before. And so you got that aspect, and you've got just her mostly by herself. That's the one thing I can say is the good thing about this movie is it nails atmosphere, and it gets really creepy at times. Even though the cast really isn't the strongest, I mean, there's not a lot of cast members, but besides Jamie Alexander, or Nicole, besides her or Deacon, besides those two characters, I really didn't care about any other characters. I mean, it's just besides those two characters, I really didn't care about the other characters. And you've also got, I think, a little bit of bad CGI. I don't remember a lot of it, but honestly, let me take that back. I don't even remember CGI. I think I remember like one shot maybe as bad CGI, but besides that, I can't really remember a lot of it. It's mostly practical. And, but yeah, I mean, the good thing is that it's got decent practical effects, nails the atmosphere, definitely has some suspense there, lots of gore, not lots of gore, but does have gory moments. But then the problems is sort of the movie has holes in it. Like, it sort of doesn't, sometimes the movie goes in one direction, and then it kind of doesn't make sense, because it'll do these certain twists, and like there's only like one twist that made sense, and the rest of them were kind of like, I don't get it. Like, I was watching like, that doesn't make sense to me. And they'll bring in these ideas, and they really don't go anywhere. I mean, you got this idea about this psycho family. They're sort of Christian, but they take the Christianity thing way too far, and they're psycho, and it's just pretty much a family, two twins that are acting really weird, and there's a deformed, sort of the youngest person in the family is deformed, and they just pick up Jamie Alexander's character, Nicole, because she's just walking outside. They pick her up, and then they just like, and I will admit, it is a creepy idea of the whole family and them being crazy and stuff like that, but they sort of flip out. They kick her out of the RV, and then she sort of leaves, and we really don't see them for the rest of the movie. I think you see like maybe one more shot, maybe one more scene, but and there is a bonus feature on here, kind of gives a little bit more meaning. It's Scott's family album, pretty much the family, their life being showed through a video camera, and it kind of explains a little bit of the meaning of the family, a little bit, because I guess they hit this hillbilly, and he came back and killed them. So it's a little bit of meaning to it, but still, it was sort of one of those ideas where I was like, okay, what was the point of them putting that in there? I mean, yeah, we'll give it is a kind of a creepy idea. It is kind of creepy, but they really didn't go with it that much. It was just sort of, oh, bringing this thing and it's gone. We don't really got any more meaning for it. It's like, okay. And the first twist, I will admit, was kind of shocking. She kills this guy, the hillbilly, who she thinks is the hillbilly, and then she finds out that it's her boyfriend. And then the hillbilly is still out there chasing her. She goes back to the rest stop. You got like one scene that was really good, and it was the scene of massive character development and it was just a long scene of just two characters. You had Nicole and you had Deacon, played by Joey Lawrence, so I believe was the voice of Oliver and Oliver and Company. Yeah, it says that. It says he was the voice of Oliver and Oliver and Company. So you got him. He's pretty much a cop. Comes out there, investigates. He gets his legs ran over, and then you got this scene which kind of saved, I don't know, the acting portion of the movie, because it was just sort of Deacon and Nicole just talking about, Deacon had a family, shows her, his family, and they're talking. Just a scene that really built sympathy for the characters. And, and then she has to shoot him. And it's really gruesome because he wakes back up. He's like, shoot me again, shoot me again. And she has to shoot him in the head again. Because I guess when she shot him, she missed his brain, so she had to shoot him again. And it was really gruesome. And it was just a scene that sort of saved the whole bad acting portion, in my opinion, because it gave character development, and it was about 30 or 20 minutes long. And it brought in a lot of character development, it brought in a lot of sympathy for the characters. And so that's what I mean. It kind of saved the acting portion of the problems, but you still got to deal with there's not a lot of interesting characters. Besides maybe, like I said, her and Deacon. Besides Nicole and Deacon, there's no other interesting characters in the movie. And like I said, the redneck idea was sort of just been used so much that, it really didn't do anything for me. I was just like, okay, it's a psycho redneck killer. I've seen that before in other movies. I've watched the Wrong Turn series. I mean, and those movies kind of did it better because they were like mutants and stuff like that. So in this movie, it was sort of kind of like, I've already seen this before, And you got a scene that was pretty good where she's trying to escape, this rest stop, and he's putting like gasoline in there and stuff like that. And it is suspenseful, but then she does this stupid decision to stick her hand outside the door where the killer was just at, and he grabs her hand and bites her finger off. Granted, it is gruesome, and it is very, gruesome and shocking. And the makeup effect is really well done, and it's just gross. But you gotta think, it's like, why would you reach your hand out there if he was just there? So, also, a little bit of stupid decision making from some of the characters. And she decides to get, like, drunk, I think. She drinks, like, whiskey or something like that. Because she thinks that she's going to get saved by just doing the radio and finds that's the hillbilly. And, I'm like, so you're getting drunk on whiskey and stuff like that. And you're drinking a big bottle of whiskey. I'm like, what are you doing this for? Although that bottle of whiskey does come in handy later on. And the one scene that I thought was going to be really good, and it was good, where she gets the Molotov cocktail, and she's got cuts all over her, she's bleeding, but then she stands up and fights back. She goes out to the road, she has sort of a standoff between the hillbilly and her. The hillbilly's in his truck, and he drives towards her, and she throws the Molotov cocktail, he crashes, and then I swear she walks towards the car, and this is what I don't get. This scene would have been really good if this wouldn't have happened. Because it kind of was like, what the freak, bro? It didn't make sense. Because she throws a cocktail at him, the Molotov cocktail, not just a regular one, because it's like, oh, I threw some shrimp at him. No. Threw a Molotov cocktail at him, and he wrecks and, crashes his truck. She walks towards the truck, and I swear, she looks in, there's nobody in there, she turns around and gets knocked out. You find out that she was tortured and killed. And also just this idea of the supernatural thing, this ghost in the rest stop of this girl who was tortured before, but they really don't go anywhere with it. Besides the end of the movie where I guess now she's in the closet where the ghost was before, and I guess that now she's the next ghost or something like that. And I didn't get it. I was like, okay, you bring in these ideas, and it's just they kind of go nowhere. They just sort of just like bring them in. They're just like, nothing happens. It's just they bring him in. It's like whatever. It's like you bring in an idea, you gotta go with it. You gotta go somewhere with the idea, and they just bring it in and just go nowhere with it. I'm like, okay, what was the point of that? you know, and some of the ideas kind of went somewhere, but you know, not enough to go, okay, this actually had meaning to it. Like I said, the girl before the ghost theme that they're having before a supernatural theme, it had a little bit of point to it because now that this girl's gonna be the next ghost of the rest stop, or the next person, you know, the next spirit in the rest stop. I'm like, still though, it was kind of going a little bit other directions on different, you know, supernatural route. We got this redneck chasing her, got this crazy family. It's like going all different directions. It's like, okay, so that's another problem with the movie. It's not really going in a straightforward direction. It's sort of just going off in all these directions with all these other ideas. So that's another problem. It's not really a straightforward movie. It kind of goes all over the place. Also, the music was not really that memorable in my opinion. Some stupid decision making by some of the characters, and most of the cast I really didn't care for. But besides that, though, I mean, the movie does have good things about it. It nails atmosphere. Great gore effects. There's a few scenes with gore in it. There's a few scenes. Um, the acting from the two characters I mentioned was pretty decent, and really enough. Besides that, though, I mean, so like I said, it's got problems, but it's got good things about it. So I don't know. It's a time waster. I watch it just to waste time, and to me, it's pretty decent. So yeah, the original Rest Stop, the first Rest Stop Dead Ahead, is pretty decent in my opinion. It's a time waster. So yeah, thanks for watching my review on Rest Stop. I know I was gonna say it was a quick review when it really wasn't. Look, it's 17 minutes long. But I thought it was gonna be quick, but I guess it wasn't. So sorry guys if you guys were expecting a quick review. I'm sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching my review on Rest Stop, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye guys.